Hello, everybody. It's me, Larry, the bartender again, and you're here at Good Job Adventures Episode 9. And I'm about to give you a pretty good recap, or at least I like to think so. Here we go, let's roll. So I gotta say, you guys killed it, and in only 3 months, too.
What? Whoa, what the hell? What happened?
This is D&D, muscle atrophy. What's the question?
When you were writing this campaign, like, what did you think the odds were that it would get derailed this much by literal toilet humor?
You could be like the other yahoos that come here looking for the Scranton Magics or something like that. Again, very hazy stuff, guys. According to the Ziggurat's travel guide, they do say that there are 7.
So, Ander, isn't there a thing called a wish
Oh,
spell?
that's not a thing. Like, people have been trying to cast that spell, but they haven't been able to yet.
Blah, blah, blah. Then they all talk to their own gods and the end of the episode happened. These things have been too long lately, so I shortened it up for you. Good Job Adventures, Episode 9.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's just jump in. Nah, but that's what we are gonna do, I guess. All right, let me open up the book. All right, so as we had left off last time, you had gone your separate ways while incredibly intoxicated at Larry's bar, and we're going to start off this session today with Ander. So, Ander, as you awake, you lift your head out of a large tome that you were drunkenly perusing the previous night, and your drool has permeated through the comfy page you decided to make your pillow. As you sit up now from your slumped position over a desk, you look around to see a large library being dimly lit by green floating lanterns. The dark mahogany bookshelves, desks, and floors cast a comforting silent atmosphere as a smell of fresh pages entrance you. As you take it all in, Ander, you're struck by an intense sensation in your gut. Liquor was good for 2 things, drunken antics and the shits. And the shits were a-comin'. Hurriedly, you look for a bathroom sign. Roll perception.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's never good.
That is a 13 plus 3, so that would be 16.
Got it. Perfect. So you are able to see from your location a front desk about 40 feet away with an older gentleman standing behind it. I assume you bum rush this front desk.
I'm just running. Like,
Hi.
All right.
Was bum rush a pun?
Yes. I'm trying to make a lot of these today, but let's go ahead. So you bum rush up to the front desk, and you're now standing in front of this older gentleman who's kind of hunched over, reading over a manifest in the front. What are you gonna do?
Hi, sir. Do you know where the bathroom is around here?
So he smiles at you, and then he points like towards the back of the library and starts making these really odd gestures with his hands. Like he kind of looks like he's running like 2 feet over, like his other hand like directing you, almost like giving you some sort of weird directions. Can you roll insight for me?
that is a 16.
Okay, you're able to interpret his hand signals, and he gives you some more odd pointing gestures, which you eventually are able to interpret, and he's directing you to the very back of the library, almost 300 feet away. So it begins. As you
I can hold it.
raise... Porkins, no!
I can hold it.
As you race your way through the stacks, you begin sweating as your stomach begins rumbling.
I can hold it.
As you reach an opening, you're about to collide with a young woman carrying a large pile of books. If you could for me, please roll dexterity.
Oh no!
Dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god. Non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. Okay. So as soon as you're able to do that, you kind of just like whisk around her and you don't knock over any of her books, and she yells, "Hey, watch where you're going!" And she audibly groans as she has to regain her footing. So as you run now, clenching your gut, you approach the back of the library and pass by 3 very interesting sections. You see one labeled the Construction in Ruel, Traditions and Folklore, and Magical Studies, as you completely whiz past and promptly ignore all 3 of these sections. And you end up now almost in front of the door to the bathroom, but outside, an incredibly large dwarf with about 3 chins more than a dwarf ought to have just cuts in front of you. Or it just gets there before you do, and he's about to enter into the bathroom. What are you going to do?
Kill him.
Oh no!
Kill him.
This isn't good!
So you just yell, "This isn't good." So as you yell, "This isn't good," the large dwarf kind of turns around to you, and he's like, "What's not good? What's not good?
There's a line!
What do you mean? I'm the only one in line.
I need to think.
You need to take a what?"
I really need to go, man. It's getting bad.
Okay, so you look this dwarf up and down, and there's quite a bit to take in because he's so large. He's wearing flowing red robes. He's got like a nice mustache and a monocle, and he says, "Well, to cut in front of me, you must answer my riddle." And he says, "Are you game?"
Sure. Let's go with it.
All right, perfect. So he says, let's do a little history lesson. I'm a professor here. He says, "Tablets to be recovered by all gods but me. To watch the heavens, a solemn duty. She attempts to pass, but I deny. She tries to go around, and I strike her down. Who am I?"
Ender shitting himself.
Ander. Ander now at this point has just heard this riddle, and I don't even know if you could have an actual thought that isn't you having to take a shit right now.
Yep.
But what do you think? You can roll a religion if you want.
Okay, I'll try that. 19.
Fuck you. All right, so you're able to roll religion, and you, for some reason, you just think of Eligos.
Really?
What?
That's the only hint I'm gonna give you right now.
Eligos. Not Tyr, not, oh god, he was a holy person. Oh crap, what was his holy thing?
Oh crap.
Oh crap!
He was a holy
while
person. Oh,
while you're stammering, roll Constitution.
roll constipation.
Guys, nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh
Looks
no!
like he-
Okay, hold on.
Looks like he's shit out of luck.
Yeah, all right. So as soon as you roll the nat 1, you just the fat dwarf is just standing there, and like you don't hear anything, but he says, "What is that horrid? Oh my god, man! Oh my god, man! Just go in. It was Helm. It was Helm. Jesus, pick up a book sometime, and maybe an air freshener or some shit."
Wait, is Jesus a thing in this universe?
He is now.
This guy smelled shit so bad he found Jesus.
Only the highest brow humor here at Good Job Adventures.
He probably gets out of your way. Oh, there was a lot more scatological humor than I expected.
Vin's having his revenge.
You're the one who gave him the shits.
I know. But it's all right. So as soon as you're able to jump into the bathroom, literally you find you find
Did he just
the
leap
toilet.
right onto the toilet? Like
He leaps into the toilet.
mid-leap, he pulls his pants down and lands ass first
It's
onto
some
the toilet.
sort of just like odd. It's like a really weird sequence where he's just like mid-air and his robes are already been pulled up, his underwear is down, and his ass just hits the porcelain, and that's the end of his side story. You dive into this stall like your life depended on it, and at last you seek relief.
It's like a Merry Melodies cartoon from like the 30s.
Oh man. So hilariously enough, that was your section. So now we're actually going to cut over to Eligos.
That's it?
That was character development.
That was character development, don't you know? No, we actually cut back to him later, but we're gonna cut over to somebody else now. What, do you want to go for him shitting? That's gonna be like, what, a 2-hour sequence? We only got like an hour and a half here.
Yeah, this is real time.
Yeah.
this is real time
I mean,
shitting. So
given what happened outside, it's probably down to like an hour 15 now.
that's true. So Eligos,
Yes.
you awake now on a hard metal surface.
I forgot I was in prison.
Technically, you're in holding. You awake on a hard metal surface in a cold cell.
Listen, I'm not allowed to leave. That's prison.
Sunlight spills in from overhead as you look up to see a small barred window about 20 feet up a wall.
It can sing?
Yep. Barred window. You look around the cell, and what you can tell is that there is a small toilet in the corner. Andor wishes he had some of those. And there is another metal bunk above yours on the wall suspended by chains. And in the center, there is a small desk with a 3-level layered chessboard.
Oh, shit.
So for you, I know I read your character sheet. You know that that's a dragon chessboard. And once you're looking around, there's not too much else in the cell. You can hear some shuffling from the bunk above you.
Oh, fuck.
Is there anything you'd like to do?
I guess I get up and I stretch my legs after what has probably been a harrowing night and probably nursing a hangover as well.
Yeah, you definitely have got a neat headache right now. So as soon as you jump out of bed and kind of start stretching, you hear just like someone else jump down from the top bunk, and it's you turn around to see a skinny-looking man. What you can assume is late 20s was on the bunk above yours. He's wearing what looks to be some casual-looking gray pants. You're pretty sure those are chinos. A black and white pullover jacket. And he's got soft-looking grayish white hair.
Lips. Oh.
Some nice soft lips. Oh no, not this kind of jail. And he's got brown eyes. He looks pretty tired and has visible bags under his eyes. And he kind of looks you up and down. He starts stretching as well, and he says, "Morning," as he mutters to you and begins to kind of stretch his arms back and forth. And he says, "So, what's your name?"
Eligos.
Oh shit. Yeah, wait, I heard about you, man. Those guards the other day pulled you in for some funny shit. I couldn't even believe it.
I probably won't either.
Don't worry, dude. I got you covered. Do you want to know what you got?
Pulls out a list.
Yeah, I remembered exactly what you got pulled in for. Do you want to hear it?
Probably not.
Too bad. I heard from the guard, improper usage of public seating. You get a flashback to you stacking benches in the middle of a park.
But it fits so well! Why?
Endangerment of wildlife. You see you're chasing around a squirrel.
Come here. I just want to see if you fit.
Noise violation. It's just you yelling. Public indecency. Like your bare ass was exposed while you were chasing the squirrel. Obstruction of justice. They tried to arrest you.
You see this? I am a helm. I am helm. I am helm!
Flirting with justice. Public intoxication, which was kind of apparent from the above ones, unless you were sober. I don't think so.
Nope.
And the last one was blasphemy.
Well, I don't know what I could have done to do that.
Well, that's not too big of a. It's not too big of a clue, man. You're literally wearing like some murderous marks and shit. And he kind of points at your armor to like the symbol of Helm.
I mean, that's mine. It's for my order.
Yeah, dude. That, if I'm not mistaken, I'm no historian, but like, that's Helm, right? You said?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, dude. That dude like totally like killed the goddess of magic. You not like? Wait, I feel like you would know that.
Yeah.
If you're like, are you like a cultist or?
No, I'm a knight, man.
Oh, that sucks. Well, yeah, no, not too many people around here really like Helm too much. Mostly because he killed Mistra back some ways. No one can even really remember it, but I mean, I guess because we weren't around. But there's a whole festival dedicated to this shit, man. No one likes this fucking dude.
Well, that's super unfortunate for me, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta say that's not great, especially this close to the festival too.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so you might want to like cover that up while you're here. I mean, I'm chill with it mostly because like I said, I'm not really a historian, but I did pick up a book, unlike everyone else in this fucking town, and like he kind of had to. So it's not a big deal. I'm chill with it. So you could keep it on in here, but I mean,
Helm lives in a stand your ground plane.
he lives in a stand your ground cloud, dude. It's not even a state.
Stand your cloud.
Stand your cloud. Kill Mistra. So he kind of like sits down at the desk next to the dragon chessboard, and he's like, so what are you doing here in Ruel? Because I haven't seen you around, and I've been here for quite a while.
Listen, I appreciate you're trying to be amicable and everything, but I have the worst headache right now.
Oh man. Well, like, there's some water, I think. No, there's no water here.
Yeah,
I mean, there's toilet water.
I was just about to say he looks at the small toilet in the corner and he's like, yeah, I'm not drinking that.
So he chuckles.
You already
he chuckles
did.
a little bit. Actually, that was one of the things you got thrown in here for. It was drinking the toilet water.
Oh.
But no, you didn't get thrown here for that. You flash back to Ander, and you just hear like, and then it cuts back. So after that, he goes like, "Oh, come on, man, Eligos, come on, sit down." So as soon as you hear him say like, "Come on, Eligos," you kind of just get like a feeling like, you know what? Why not? This guy seems pretty chill, and like something like a feeling kind of washes over you, and you do sit down at the table, but at that point, he's just like waiting for you to start talking.
So, what are we playing for?
Mostly shits and giggles, I guess. It's always a good way to pass some time. You're gonna be in here for a while. Stop laughing at every shit joke I made. Cut back to Anders shitting again. And giggling, I guess. But so he does ask you, he's like, so again, man, like, why are you here in Ruel? I haven't seen you ever before, and I definitely would have heard of someone walking around wearing Helm's clothes.
Yeah, well, I'm not from around here.
Oh, no shit. Where you come from? Stop it! Literally stop it! Every 3 seconds, dude.
This is gonna be a long episode.
Yeah, it is. Be a long shit. Go ahead.
Long way off this continent. I came here by boat.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Well, no, I want to know a little bit more about you right now, because like I said, dude, not too many people have got the balls to walk around with that sigil everywhere. But what's your order do? What's it about? As he starts to play the game of dragon chess, he goes up to the upper level and moves one of his sylphs diagonally forward.
All right, fuck. Now I gotta learn how to play Dragon. I'm looking at the wiki page now.
Oh jeez.
So, Eligos, he's got like more of a defensive play style. Like he'll bring his warriors, which are pawns for the uneducated. He'll bring his warriors forward only like far enough so that he can move the pieces in castle.
Okay.
But it seems like he's waiting for the other guy to make a mistake so that he can like capitalize on it.
Yeah. All right. Understood. So you guys start playing a little bit of an intense game. He starts moving a bunch of pieces on the top level, and like Eligos has said, for the uneducated, and this is to you guys listening to this podcast, Dragon Chess has 3 levels: an upper level, a middle level, and a bottom level. Mostly like there's subterranean, terranean, and then like above ground where like dragons and shit are. Not Corley though, or Breathweaver.
No, it's fine. You can talk down to Corley.
All right. Yeah, fuck you, Corley. No, but continuing on though, you guys play a pretty decent game, and it comes to a standstill after about, one could say about maybe 22 moves, and then he kind of stops and he's like, well, looks like we've got quite a bit of a predicament here, and then he kind of pushes you a little bit further. He's like, so what were you saying earlier about your order?
Huh? Oh yeah. We didn't get a lot of I guess notoriety. We operate in the human territories to the west.
Oh, okay.
Mostly just protecting whatever needs, well, protecting.
That seems pretty paladin-like, you know, kind of like Helm, I guess.
Yeah, you would think.
Oh, what's wrong?
What? Sorry, nothing.
No, what? You sound like you were having some gripes, man.
Well, how many? Just out of curiosity, how many tiefling paladins you seen in your day?
Oh man, I don't judge, but none. Literally zero. You're the first one, which is why I think it's pretty neat.
You didn't think it was weird at all?
Like I said, man, I don't judge, but it's definitely not your average though. That's why you're so interested right now. That's why I'm trying to quiz you while we're playing chess, and he kind of laughs and moves another one of his pieces on the bottom board.
Eligos looks at the moon. He's like, okay, and then he moves one of his pieces to capture it.
Oh dang! All right, man. So wait, what was this about your paladin thing and being a tiefling? Did like people not like that?
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of friends, I guess you could say. And he finally starts moving up like the sky pieces. But I mean, I assume you're familiar with the whole towers thing, the wish.
So he stops like he was about to pick up one of his hero pieces and he stops for a second. He's like, a sly grin like crosses his face and he's like, oh yeah, man, those towers is why a lot of people like yourselves, or I assume like yourselves, remember, even come to this place. But I'm surprised that I haven't seen you at all around here, and you're so new and you know exactly what those are. And he moves his hero piece forward.
Well, I've done my research. He moves the sky piece. Mate in 5.
Oh shit. He looks around and he's like, God, fucking dragon pieces, man. And then he grabs one of his griffins and he diagonally captures one of your dragons and he's like, oh shit, here we go. And he kind of delays your mate by another turn, but it's still looking pretty good for you at the moment.
So I just kind of like silently, like with sort of like just kind of like look at him in the eyes, like I don't even have to look at the board, just kind of like go through the motions of like what I would do to finish the mate.
Understood. So yeah, you guys play for another 4 or 5 moves. Well, 6 technically, since I said it bumped it, and then you're able to actually capture his king, and you've won the first round. He's like, well, I'll be damned, man. That was pretty good. You're one smart dude.
Like I said, I've done my research.
All right. He resets the pieces up, and then he kind of comes back to that whole thing. He's like, yeah. So would you be able to like tell me more about this? You've done some research. You seem like you're a pretty like knowledgeable guy, but like, how'd you get to this part? Like,
all right. Well, unlike those the jail windows, I'm not exactly a bard, but let me tell you a story. He says, like, as he's like resetting all the pieces, like black on one side, white on the other. Once upon a time, there was an order of knights of hell. Yeah. He gestures to like the white side of the board, which is his side. Strong, stalwart, and unmistakably human. And then he picks up a black warrior piece from the other side and then puts it on the white side. Then one day, they come upon a black sheep with nowhere to go. He asks to join the knights, putting their leader, he takes the white king, on the spot. He puts it at the center of the board. At great risk to himself, the leader abides. He trains the black sheep, raises him up, and before he knows it, he takes the hero piece, and he takes a black hero piece and kind of like puts it next to the king and removes the black warrior. Before he knows it, the black sheep becomes a knight. But unfortunately, the knight's fortune wasn't meant to last. The leader who vouched for him, against the wishes of those who followed him and put their trust in him, had been increasingly absent among his ranks. He, like, with a finger, he, like, topples the White King, and then takes the White Queen, or whatever fucking dragon chess equivalent is,
yeah,
and puts it next to the toppled king. Fearing the worst would soon befall their leader, the knights looked to the judgment of his successor, who hated the black sheep and his kind above all else. Now, the black sheep's first instinct was to kill the successor. Easy, right? He flicks over the White Queen, in hopes that leadership would fall to one of the more level-headed of the high ranks. He again gestures to the back line of the second level, since we're dragon chessing, of the white pieces.
Oh jeez.
But this was, admittedly, a short-sighted plan on his part. if the knights ever discovered that it was the black sheep who murdered the leader, or the successor, and then he takes a hand and, like, in a one swift motion, takes out the second level of black pieces. The successor's will would be carried out all the same.
Huh.
So, left again with nowhere to turn, the black sheep set out in search of a miracle. He takes the black hero piece off the board and just kind of pockets it.
All right, so that's why the black sheep, he does some air quotes, is here. That's pretty interesting, man.
Or so the story says. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I really like your story, and, I really like this black sheep that you've been talking about, but I think he has one really big problem he's just not taking a look at. And I think that issue is with the way his group thinks. And then he takes a couple of the white pieces and rounds them up, and he's like, everyone's seems to be following in what the successor wants to do and just going along with it. They're kind of stuck in their ways, one could say. Kind of really paying attention to those old rules that may not make enough sense.
Well, there's not much I can do about that.
Nah, there's always something you can do about that. And he starts to twirl one of the pieces around. He's like, all you have to do, at least from what I can tell, is just break the rules. And then he puts another black hero piece in the middle and then puts all the white pieces around it.
Well, I think there's one thing you're forgetting. One thing I certainly forgot.
What's that?
The black sheep left his post. He can't go back to the flock anymore. So now he's got a figure. He's got a choice to make. Does he use his wish to save the leader who took him in, or does he use it to save himself? He can't do both.
You're thinking too small. It's a wish. Why not do both? Or more? And as soon as he starts like mulling over what you've said, a guard kind of walks by the prison and the prison bars, and he bangs his billy stick on the bars and yells, "Shut up in there, you rats!" So as soon as that happens, the gentleman you've been sitting with kind of like gets up and he's like, "Excuse me, I'll be back in like a few seconds. Gonna go talk to him. That was really rude." And he pops over to the bars, and you see, like, you're just sitting there looking at the pieces and the pocketed black piece that you have there, and you're kind of inspecting it closely. And in about a minute, you just hear the prison guard and the guy who was in your cell talking, and you currently aren't looking at them, but you hear the door to the cell open.
Is Eligos getting the suspicion that the guy he was talking to was a plant from the guards?
You could have that suspicion, but when you turn around, you kind of just see the guy standing there and the guard with the open door. And he's like, "Come on, Eligos, let's bounce."
Just like that?
Just like that. So he walks out of the cell, and I assume you follow him. But as you kind of walk through the door, you look over at the guard who opened it, and you look at his face, and he's got like this thousand yard stare, as he calmly just like lets you out and then closes the door behind him and then walks to the front of the office. So as you follow the guard and the gentleman you were talking to into the front office, you see the prison guard hands you back your gear, sort of as if in a daze. And then the guy who was inside of your cell with you slaps a sticker on your chest piece and on your shield, and he's like, "Hey man, take these stickers, dude. Like that'll definitely help you over here in Ruel."
What do the stickers look like?
The stickers just kind of look like they just say like oh god, not guilty. I don't know.
It's like one of those good job stickers.
It's good. Yeah, all right.
It's like a storm cloud frowning.
Yeah, it's an A+. It's an A+ sticker from like they're whatever you want them to look like, Eligos, because I didn't write it down.
And is it just like it's just like a small like circle size, the size of when you get like the doctor or the dentist, and it's covering this giant like palm symbol of hell?
It's like, "Don't forget to floss." It says on there. And it's just, I want the sticker to be the symbol of hell. I feel like that's contrary to the point. But he slaps on your shield and stuff, and he says, "Here, man, and hey, Tony." And the guard perks up for a quick second. He's like, "Burn those files for Eligos, won't you?" And you see the guard kind of just like still inside of a daze go into the back of the go into the back room, and you kind of just like smell like burning paper.
Smelligos.
Smell it goes. And he's like, well, Eligos, looks like we got you out of that one.
I look at him and I like slightly like, so much for too much bureaucracy, eh?
Yeah, something like that. And he's like, well, either way, I guess now you sort of owe me one, but it's okay though. I'm not too demanding. I'll come knocking soon though.
You're not gonna give me community service and a fine?
No, that's what they would have given you. Probably a little bit worse though. So they're never gonna remember this. Goodbye, Eligos. And as you hear him say that, I want you to roll a wisdom save.
Alright. The 14.
Okay. So as you roll the 14, you blink, and then you open your eyes again, and the guy who was in the cell with you is gone, and the door to the prison is ajar.
Then who was phone?
Who was? The call was coming from inside the cell. No, but you got That's it. That's the end of your section, Eligos.
Alright, cool. I guess I'll head out for Larry's. What is it still the Chillin' Dragon? I forget.
It is still the Chillin' Dragon. Or it's Larry's. You know, I had a last episode too.
I mean, is there a difference between the real and the fake?
Oh no, they're both the Chillin' Dragon.
Gotcha.
The entire time I was hearing that, I just kept thinking, like, have you heard the tragedy of the black sheep, the exiled?
Shut the fuck up! I thought that was cool.
It was.
It
cool.
was.
I actually really liked it. It was.
That's not a story the paladins would tell you.
You can't let me. You don't let me have anything nice.
No, not at all. Well, you got out of prison for free, and you got 2 stickers.
Well, that's because I saved the card from Monopoly.
All right, get out of jail free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I thought you were about to say, "All right, get back in jail."
All right, that's it. You walk out the door, and it's just another prison cell. He tricked you.
Yeah.
No, so you leave and you head back towards Larry. So now, we're actually going to cut over to Aul. So Aul, you're looking up at the sky right now, lying face up on 2 very comfy-looking trash bags. And as you hear the sounds of the bustling city in the background, traders shouting deals, wagons, wheels spinning, and people walking, it's truly an environment where a thief such as yourself would thrive. So you sit up, give a good stretch, and turn into whatever form you would like to turn into for now.
I'll turn into, like, just a vanilla mofo, just like a normal human. Like, just kind of to blend in. Someone just very inconspicuous.
Gotcha. So you change into a very inconspicuous man, and you kind of just like give it a good stretch, and you look around. And towards the edge of the alley that you were sitting in, you see a small girl peering onto the main street, hurriedly looking back and forth as she occasionally stops to eye a nearby food cart. What do you want to do?
Did she see me transform?
No, she actually wasn't looking at you. She's too busy looking onto the main road. You're kind of further back with where the trash is.
Oh, so she's like ahead of me, closer to the street?
Yeah, she's literally at the end of the alleyway, looking onto the main street.
Alright. I want to get up to her, but I think it's a little weird for like a man in an alleyway to just start talking to a little girl.
No.
I'll
Well,
do it.
you could change into something else.
Change into a little girl as well.
Oh my god.
I'll turn into a little boy.
All right. So you turn to a little boy,
He turns into the bread boy.
the bread boy. Oh man. And what are you gonna do? So you take a look at the girl, you switch back into a smaller child, and then what's
I'll
your
walk
plan?
up to her and say, "Hey, so what you doing?"
She whips around. She's like, I didn't do. And then she pauses. What do you want?
I see you eyeing that bread. What was it? It wasn't a bread cart, was it?
It was a food cart. There's bread there. It has bread.
All food is bread. Soylent Green is bread.
You planning something with that there food cart?
Well, and she kind of looks you up and down like a quick second. She's like, I'm just like, I'm trying to get some breakfast, okay? Wait, hold up. And she gets like a smile across her face. She's like, watch this and learn. I'm real good at this.
Death flag.
And you see like she kind of just like looks back and forth. And, yeah, she dies. No. So
I'm about to end this bread's whole career.
I'm about to say, but Larry's food cart much better than this one. But no, she tries to leave the alleyway after she says she's real good at this, and as she gets halfway over towards the food cart, kind of like doing like what she considers like small combat rolls and sneaking, And as soon as she gets close enough to the cart, about to swipe something, a patron just walks in front of her. And as soon as like someone goes in front of her, she gets completely startled, drops back to the ground, and scurries all the way back into the alleyway. She kind of goes up against the wall, and she's breathing heavily. And she looks at you, and she's like, "Ha! Did you see that? That guy didn't even see me." And she's like, "I'm so sneaky." And then you see like she's trying to talk herself up for you, and then like a frown crosses her face. For a moment as she realizes she's kind of failed this.
Ooh, yeah, that was, I was expecting better, to be honest. But, alright, why don't I'm pretty good at this, too. So, alright, what do you want?
You're good at stealing?
Yeah, that's pretty much my whole deal. Stealing, and I can turn it into whatever I want. And I wink at her.
She's like, "Oh yeah, stealing and what?" She looks at you and she's like, "Well, if you're so good at it, I want that." And she points at the food stand. You see like there's a small apple pie just sitting on the right side of it. And just to give you an idea of what it looks like the entire setting is that if you look out of the alleyway, it's a main street. There is a cart there full of food. It has fresh bread. It has some fresh vegetables and fruits there as well. There's a gruff-looking human standing there with a lot of chest hair. Holy shit! And he's kind of gruff. He's got a beard. He's got a bald head, and he looks kind of mean. As if you were to steal something from him, it wouldn't go over well. But he does have a lot of nice stuff on that cart. Next to him are two other carts about 10 feet away, and it's pretty busy in the middle of the street. There are people frequently passing by and stopping.
Alright, so I'll stay in the little boy form, but I'm going to use a thing I got from my level up called Mage Hand Ledgered Mane. Basically, I can use the Mage Hand cantrip, which is like an invisible spectral hand, but I can turn it invisible to be able to grab stuff.
Oh.
So I'm not going to do that just yet, but so I will turn Stuart and it's like, "Check this out." And then I walk up, and to get like a scene, it's like right outside the alley is the food cart she was trying to steal from.
It's right across the street.
Oh, it's across the street?
Yeah.
So like all the food carts are on that side of the street?
Yeah.
All right.
They all cross the street when they see Owl.
Oh no. All right. Owl is going to cross the street, and he is going to kind of like. Is there any what's behind the food carts? Are there any bushes or anything?
There's another alleyway behind the food cart, but it looks like it's just like buildings, like residential-ish.
All right, would Owl be able to like hide in the other alley to do something?
Oh yeah, you can totally walk past.
Okay.
You can walk past the cart into the alleyway. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go into the other alleyway and kind of attempt to get hidden because I want to cast a spell to create a diversion.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going to use the spell Silent Image. And basically it lets me create an image of an object or a creature or some other visible phenomenon that's no larger than a 15-foot cube. And so what I'm going to do, and I think Breathweaver would appreciate this, I'm going to just make a dragon appear in the middle of the street.
What?
Yeah.
Watch this, he says to the little girl. A dragon appears.
You know, as you do.
Oh, man.
No, at this point I've crossed into the other alleyway. Yeah, you hear...
Owl's only reference for dragons is Breathweaver, so you see a giant Breathweaver.
It has the face of Breathweaver, but it's a
God.
dragon body.
Wait, it has the face of Breathweaver, but it's a dragon?
It's like a little more dragon-like.
It's like a fucking Hieronymus Bosch painting.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
horrifying. It's more frightening than a normal dragon.
Oh my god. All right, so you cast this, and is this like directly in front of the food cart?
It's a little to the left of it, and then it's kind of in between the food carts, and then I am going to go like to the left side of the apple pie is on the right side of the cart, right?
Yeah, the right side of the cart. You're currently towards the leftish side.
All right, so I go to the left side of the cart, and I just like grab the guy's leg, and he's like, "Oh my god, there's a dragon!" And as I'm saying that, I'm using my mage hand to lift the apple pie.
All right, so let me roll performance. I don't even know what else I can have you do. Roll performance.
All
Fuck
right.
it. You have silent images. If you get a bad one, just re-roll as an advantage.
Oh, so I get advantage?
Yeah, you got a silent image. You got a dragon.
The first one was a 17, but I'll re-roll to see if I do better. Oh, gee, 1 second, fell off the table. Yeah, the 17 was the best I got.
Okay, so you see this gruff old man. You pull on his leg, and he looks at you angrily for a quick second. Then he looks up to the street, and he sees a giant dragon-esque, dragon weaver-esque, ugly dragon.
I'm offended, Ben.
And you see him.
So ugly.
Ugly. Oh my god, it's ugly. No relation. So as soon as he sees it, you see this gruff man look up, and he just goes ah, and then he runs away from his food cart, and then he runs down the alleyway as he sees this giant dragon. You hear the people also in the middle of the street start yelling and then running in all different directions. Some of them going through the dragon and then not realizing it. You've successfully pilfered your pie.
I'm taking not just the pie now. I'm taking as much as I can grab.
Oh, jeez.
Not just the pie, but the croissants and the bread too.
One step. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're literally
just
fucking
everything.
stealing everything. So you stole like.
Oh, Aladdin.
All right. So you dead ass Aladdin this. You straight up. Well, he only stole a loaf of bread. So you grab like this sack that you had. I don't even know where you got the sack from, but you loaded up with like croissants, like fresh pastries, some apples, the pie, multiple pies, and then you
Jamba Juice.
A Jamba Juice. What is
Soda,
that? A bacon
OJ, purple
cheeseburger.
stuff.
Yeah. Some alcohol. Yeah. You got everything else. You got a blueberry pie too. So you literally make out like a fucking Santa Claus like robber, dude, and you just like you absolutely strut back into the alleyway as the little girl is just watching you in awe as she just saw what I assume to be. How old did you make this kid? Because like she's like 7 or 8ish.
He's like, yeah, he's probably around that, maybe 6.
So like this 6-year-old boy conjure a dragon and then steal what is assumedly the entirety of the food cart.
And then when I'm like safely away in the alley, you see the dragon like attempt to speak, and it just sounds like Breathweaver. It's like, oh no.
Oh my god.
So we've got the level 1 little girl versus the level 100 owl.
Jesus.
I don't know why I would be saying oh no, but just look, the dragon, like the horrifyingly ugly dragon, looks around and says, oh no, and then just slowly fades out.
Okay. So
And then
God damn it. So you go back in, this little girl is in awe, and she's like, did you do that? That dragon? That really, really ugly dragon?
oh no, that was just a coincidence.
What?
No, what? I guess it was good timing or something. No, that was me.
No.
And then I'm gonna say, you think that was really something? You wanna see me turn into a fat dwarf? It's based off on one of my friends.
She's like, yeah, I totally want to see that.
No.
And then I turn into a fatter version of Wilhelm.
Okay. So a really fat version of Wilhelm. So you see like she comes up to you and she's like going in for a high five.
I do, yeah, I high five, and then like exaggeratedly, I don't think that was a word, I'm out of breath after that, just kind of Wilhelm-esque.
All right. So she's super happy, and she looks at the sack. She's like, so do you mind if I have some like food?
Oh yeah, I give it all to her.
She's like, oh shit, and then she like looks at it and she's like,
Cuts back to Ender quickly.
yeah, God damn it, you won't let this go.
You had to start with Ander, didn't you?
Ender's now eating a croissant somehow.
Anders just sitting on the toilet, and you just hear from outside that one guy. He's just like, come on, man, and he's like, I need to go.
He has one of those trays you get for like a bed and breakfast just on his lap,
Yeah.
and
he's got a nice croissant. So you cut back, and then you see she's like digging into like the food that's in there, and she's like, oh man, thanks, mister. What's like, mister, if you're changing and stuff, what do you actually, wait, is that what you look like all the time?
Oh yeah, I'm a fat dwarf now. Yeah, if I showed you my real form, you'd probably lose your appetite. You may have heard of us, we're called changelings, and we are, not easy on the eyes, so to speak.
Oh, she kind of looks at you with like a star in her eye, and she's like, that's fine. If you want to show me, it's cool. I'm real glad. Thanks for helping me. Well, really not even helping me, just stealing it by yourself then.
Yeah, so, where are your parents? Also, what's your name? I'm Raul.
Oh, my name is Mina. And then she kind of just like bites in a little bit into the pie, and she's like, my parents are and she thinks for a second. She's like, they're not home. And she's like, she kind of just like fiddles her thumbs a little bit. What the hell was that? Was that an air raid?
1 second. My dad just turned on a vacuum. I need to tell him. I might need to
It
tell
sounded
him.
like an air raid, and I'm just like, oh my god.
It sounded like the purge was starting.
I was like, is our podcast getting swatted? We're not even that popular.
I will get swatted for stealing from the fucking
Oh my God.
from the food cart. FBI, open up! And it just like runs him down.
I hate you, Vin.
Show me the pies. Then what did you say?
I said FBI, open up.
Show me pie.
Show me.
Are you Steve Harvey? I don't know if Steve Harvey's going around raiding
It cuts
people.
back to Ander inside of the bathroom. Show me pie. I don't know what to do with this information.
All right. So I will hearing that she says her parents aren't home, and I say, so where's your home then, Mina?
She says she kind of like she points over like towards the I believe it is northwest side of town, and she's like, it's over there. And she points in that direction. She's like, me and my big sis live in this big house.
Can I roll insight?
Yeah,
See if I
go
can.
ahead.
Yeah. A 21.
Yeah, you roll insight, and you can tell that if like this small child is talking about living with her sister in a big house, you can very very easily tell she's poor looking, and especially because she was attempting to steal. She lives in an orphanage.
So how many other people live in this big house with you? How you like it there?
It's pretty nice. I like it. I didn't get too much food this morning. She says like there was soup. But she says it's a really fun place, and my big sister's real nice, so she always helps me get the food. She usually likes buying it though. I don't think there's a reason to buy it. It's right there. And then she kind of just like munches a little bit into like another like croissant that you pilfered for her.
Is Raul about to adopt her?
No, I don't think so. So, well, wait. We'll leave that to discretion. But she kind of just goes like, well, I mean, I didn't want to have Big Sis buy any more food, especially because I said I wasn't hungry earlier today, and I want her to she's trying to learn more now, and she's going to the library all the time.
Oh no.
And what it's the smell of shit. The absolute smell of shit. Permeating from the library downtown. As a cataclysmic event is happening there right now. And she's like, I want her to spend money on books today. And I felt bad. So I tried to get some breakfast.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean about going hungry. And as I say that, I'm going to turn from a really fat dwarf into a really thin dwarf.
And she's like, yeah. I like you. You're funny.
But, you typically get enough to eat, Mina?
Yeah, usually we get a lot of food, but with the festival coming around, there's a lot of they raising the prices, and it's hard for the owner to buy it. So we just resort to stealing around now, at least I do. And she like takes another bite out of like now pumpkin pie.
Raul laughs and he's like, I like you too, Mina. I think we're birds of a feather. I mean, I'm not a big fan of money either. I mean, I feel like money's just put in place by all the people who have it to prevent the poor people from doing stuff. I'm running for president in 2020.
Raul for president. I'll steal everything.
He's like, but I think maybe I can show you the ropes a little bit. I mean,
She's like, really?
I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Yeah.
You didn't do great.
She kind of like frowns a little bit, and she's like, I try my best, but I get it though. I'll admit it.
You're better at that age than I was.
Really? And she
Yeah.
kind of gets like a spark in her eyes again.
Owl turns to the camera and shakes his head no.
God damn it. Shakes his head no.
But you got potential, I'll tell you that, kid. But you're a little sloppy too, and you can't back out that early. You gotta be part of being able to steal something is being willing to commit. And,
Can I summon dragons too?
in a good time. And honestly, when I'm done teaching you, you can summon dragons even uglier than that one.
She's like, there's no way there's a dragon uglier than that one.
Fuck you too, man.
Well, maybe that's a good point. I can, if you want to meet that guy, maybe I can have you meet that guy. He can help you.
Oh, maybe you could stick to training me instead. I'm sorry, Corley. This is too easy. But she's like, well, what's the first lesson?
The first.
Well, she's like, also, I'm sorry. What was your name?
Owl. That's the first lesson. My name's Owl.
All right, and she kind of like memorizes it.
I'm pretty sure he told her that too.
She was too astounded by pie.
The first lesson is you gotta know your target before you steal. So this time you had an apple pie, but did you know the vendor? Did you know his story? Did you know the layout of the alleyways behind? And you gotta have an escape plan. You gotta.
She's like, no, my plan was run in real quick, and then he won't be able to see me because I'm so quick. And I grab the pie and run away.
Well, okay. First of all, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah?
I don't want to discourage you because I like
Uh-huh.
your spunk,
Uh-huh.
but that's about it.
Okay. And then she like thinks about it for a second. She's like, oh, wait a second, that's bad. And she's like, well, how do I make it better?
The first thing is, if you're gonna steal something, you gotta be ready to have something taken from you if you get caught. If you're not willing to make that commitment, then you're not ready to steal.
It's like, I got nothing.
Well, that's a good place to be. Neither do I. And I go up for a high five.
She gives you another high five, and she's like, yeah, nothing, friends.
But just remember this. As you get better and as the stakes get bigger, what you could lose is going to get bigger too. So right now you're starting small, and that's good. But when you get to being of my level, and I will turn to the camera and winks again, which is level 4. But
God damn it.
he says, when you get to my level, just every time you steal, it could end badly. But I think we're getting a little too heavy right now. All right. So the first diversions are always a good thing to be able to create on a whim. So I'm assuming you can't create hideous dragons, right?
No, not yet.
And I'm assuming you can't shapeshift, right?
No, not yet.
Owl takes off his hat and he says, all right, try this. It won't let you exactly do what I can do, but it should let you change your clothing. It should let you change your appearance within reason. I need to look up the exact thing Disguise Self can do.
It casts Disguise Self. I think it allows you to change yourself by like about 3 feet or so.
You can make yourself a foot shorter or taller. You can appear thin, fatter in between.
All right, so you give her the hat, and as soon as she puts it on, you see like she thinks real hard, and then she turns into the fat dwarf that you were, well, like kind of like wearing like the same like clothes that the fat dwarf was wearing. She looks kind of large, and she's just like, look, I did it.
Not bad. See, being able to disguise yourself is it's important wherever you go, because if they know who stole from them, they're gonna know who to look for. That's why whenever I steal, I can always change how I have the benefit of being a shape-shifting monstrosity. So whenever I steal, I don't have to look like myself.
I got it.
And this hat usually helps me change my disguise. And I think maybe it would be more useful if you had it.
Really? You mean it?
Yeah. I mean, it served me well, but listen, I mean, it's the least...
Wait, actually, you're giving her the hat? Shit.
Yeah, he's giving her the hat.
Oh.
But being able to disguise yourself is one thing. You also have to be willing to commit to the part. So here's one of my favorite characters, and he turns into an albino orc, and he says, "How are you?"
And she giggles a little bit, and she's like, and then she kind of like thinks really hard, and then you see her kind of get a little bit taller, and she starts wearing a sideways hat, so she can't change her appearance. But she starts wearing a wife beater, a sideways hat, and a pair of cargo shorts, and she's like, "I'm good." And she kind of like reads it back to you.
This is a more hideous form than I expected. I did not realize how horrible this was to look at.
You could visibly see the dad bod on her now.
No.
It's actually disconcerting.
An ugliness to surpass Breathweaver.
You mean the Breathweaver dragon? Thank you.
There's a few additional details too, like she has just hairy armpits too, and I'm like, ooh, that's good. But I call this guy Ghoul. He's a single dad. He hates life, I guess he hates. But he is a real thorn in your side. I'll just say that much. Was that Anders shitting?
Cuts back. All right.
So when I want to infiltrate, maybe, or go to places I shouldn't go, this is one guy. So why don't you try to develop a persona? Maybe not this guy, because that's my thing. That's patented owl, but...
All right, I won't steal that. And she kind of chuckles. And let me just look up this guy's self really quickly for myself. Yeah, so she kind of changes into another form. She gets she can only go a foot taller. So she gets a foot taller, and she kind of looks like she's still really tiny. She's about 3 feet now. She kind of looks like a gnome, like a gnomish like stature. And she has like a weird pointy red hat and like a blue jacket. And she's like, I call this one Gnomey.
Ooh!
What about Gnome Regard?
And then like no regard. And now
You're gonna need to get the nomenclature right.
that's a wordplay. And then she like you spend like a little bit of time with her because I don't wanna like make this like a
Too long, yeah.
But you spend some time with her. You teach her some ropes. Like it cuts to like you guys
Teach her some ropes.
teach her some ropes.
This is my favorite rope. This is silk rope. It's great for climbing stuff.
After you guys stole a bunch of rope, you just start talking about the rope.
This one's called hemp. If you need to tie up someone, it's pretty good. Honestly, those are my 2 ropes. I hope that was useful.
She's like, it was. So at like it kind of like goes throughout the entire day. You kind of give her the ups and downs. You show her the ropes and you show her the ropes. And then after a little while, it's kind of like breaking dusk a little bit. And then she looks at you and she's like, "Thanks, mister. You've been really nice. And thanks for the hat too."
I give her a little bit of rope.
And the rope. And she gives you a big hug. And as soon as she does, she runs off and she's like, "Stop by the orphanage sometime, mister. I won't know it's you, but I really hope you say hi."
Just be careful. Just be careful. Don't remember what I taught you.
And she says, "Yeah." And then she scurries on towards the northwest of town as Aul is going to gain inspiration for giving away his hat.
Oh, all planned.
And subverting my expectation of Aul in the scenario.
Did you know Aul wrote The Last Jedi?
All right, let's go to Breathweaver. So Breathweaver at this point, so it's kind of like rewinding the day because Aul's took a while.
Record scratch.
Record scratch. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this tree. So a coarse breeze wakes you up now as the leaves around you rustle loudly as you're sitting inside of
I'm inside of the tree?
yeah, you huddle up inside the hole. No, you're on a branch.
I'm an owl, tree owl, dragon. Shit.
Tree dragon.
Tree dragon.
Is he hanging out with that squirrel Eligos harassed?
Yes. I'm sharing
Perhaps.
a drink with it.
So you lead up to find yourself perched upon a massive branch of a tree in the middle of what seems to be a park. So you hear the sounds of birds chirping, children playing.
A stack of benches.
Yeah, stack of benches. You're able to see, it looks like a weird stack on like the opposite corner and a bunch of old people like scowling at it because they can't sit on it. But then you see one old guy at the very top and he looks very happy. It's about as tall as you are up on this branch. So it seems like it's a pretty peaceful looking park. Like it's just a park. It's pretty neat. People are playing around. And then as you look around and are just like taking it all in, you hear from below you a tiny shriek. As you look down, you see a few small children looking up at you and pointing and whispering. And you hear just like, you hear from down there just like, "How did he climb so high? Who is this guy? I like his robes. They look funny.
He's hideous.
And like they're all this like he looks like that dragon on Main Street. It's like you hear like they're all start whispering a little bit.
Breathweaver starts thinking back about when he was on Main Street because he's trying. He thinks he means like the other day when he was.
You're
drunk.
having a really.
He's like, was I on Main Street?
You think you were really drunk on Main Street. So after a while, one of them kind of calls up to you and they say, "Hey, Mister, do you want to play with us?"
Sure.
And you kind of jump down and they're like, "All right, you can play the game.
What game?
We're playing Monsters and Ghouls."
Oh my
I
god.
love the game.
I'm out.
I'm done.
This is so meta.
No, they're not actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. They're playing this universe's equivalent of Dungeons and Dragons. So as soon as you hear the other kids say Monsters and Ghouls, see like a bunch of the other kids. There's 3 of them in total. Like the other 2 kind of like brandish what looks like invisible weapons. And like one of them shoots like small sparks out of their hands using prestidigitation, you can tell. And like they're all just start like going around like making really cool heroic looking stances, and they're having a great time. You can tell out of character, Corley. You can tell they're pretty much LARPing D&D. But one of them, and Breathweaver would understand that too. Like they would know that this game is like something that kids would play. They just call it Dungeons and Dragons for some
Do
reason.
I have any non-damaging spells?
No, you're
I
not.
cast fireball at the
And you see the kids are just like, "I want to fight you." He casts fireball at the fucking kid, and he's just like,
Oh my
he's
god.
like, "I thought we were playing." And no, but Jesus.
He's just playing dead.
I
Yeah,
said
good.
It's just a
non-damaging,
prank,
man.
bro.
I said non-damaging.
All right.
Oh my
Maiming
god.
children aside, there you see one of like the other 2 kids kind of comes up to you, and he's got like a big thick rimmed glasses on. He says, "What type of character do you want to play? What class?"
Can I be dragon?
No, silly, that's the enemy.
I can play the enemy for you guys.
No, we already got the enemy.
Who's that?
You gotta play. I'm the dungeon master.
Are you the dragon?
Well, I have a dragon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where?
Oh my god.
What are you gonna play? You look like a barbarian.
Sure. Is that gonna get into semantics with some kids, man?
No, we're not making a character for you. It's just gonna be you're playing and acting like a barbarian.
Let me roll for that.
No.
Oh no.
So, spends the next hour and a half creating a character of a barbarian for a fantasy D&D. Oh my god.
Alright, let me roll for my character. Let's see, that's a 20.
What?
No,
What are
wait,
you
18.
doing? No, stop rolling your stats. No.
My
we don't
strength
have time
will
for
be-
this.
Okay.
School's starting soon. No, don't roll your strength in
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
All right, so you see like the kids kind of like gang up. You're set up together with one of the other kids who's playing a fighter. You're playing a barbarian, and the other girl is playing a sorceress. And you see like the one kid with thick rim glasses. He's like, "Okay, here's the setting." So as he pushes up the big rims on his glasses forward, closer to his face, he says, "The evil lich has you all trapped in the tomb, and he's going to unleash his magic on the world."
We're hunting
and you
rabbits.
see, we're hunting rabbits. And you see like the other kids are just like, "Boo, boo," and he's gonna steal all the world's candy.
No!
And you see like they just start yelling.
Oh no!
Breathweaver overreacts.
Oh no!
And you see people are like gasping, and one of the kids and he says, "So as you guys were previously delving into the dungeon, you're joined by your new friend the barbarian."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's your name?"
John Peters.
John Peters. John Peters. The barbarian John Peters.
Is that a reference to something?
No, I don't know.
I don't think it is.
No.
It might be.
Is it a reference, Corley? Or...
I don't know.
All right. So John Peters the barbarian is going to be an NPC you guys meet later on in the campaign. But so you guys are joined by your new friend John Peters, as he writes it down in his book.
John H. Peters is an American film producer and former hairdresser.
What?
Who also hunts liches.
You have a giant pair of scissors.
That's my weapon.
You have a giant pair of scissors.
That's my sword. That's my barbed sword.
Oh my god. So as you dive deeper into the tomb, and just before you reach the end of the tomb, you hear a loud rumbling.
And her stomach.
And your stuff. Oh my god. Alright.
We're right next to a library, actually.
You hear a loud rumbling as a large dragon, you see the kid winks at you, appears from the depths. And then the kid goes, "You shall not step into my master's domain." And he breathes some fire at you, and he says, "On guard!"
Like, literally? Is he
What?
bait?
There's no actual dragon.
Does the kid breathe fire at me?
This kid is actually a Howl. He casts Silent Image and a giant dragon. No, but you see he's just like, "All right, guys, time to fight the dragon." So
I get into a fighting stance with my scissors.
all right, so the first kid says, "Well, I slice off his foot so he can't walk." And then you see he just like runs up to like the tree
That's
trunk
my
and like slashes it. It's my move. And he says, "You okay?" And the other kid who's DMing, he's like, "Okay, you hit it and it falls right off." And then you see
Impressive strike! I compliment the
you
kid.
see the other kid is like, "Well, I burn its ugly wings so it can't fly around." And you see like she starts like pew-pewing and like casting prestidigitation and like makes like a smell of like burning scales fills like the area around you. And as like the tomb, you see like the DM is describing it as like it's catching a blaze. He's like, "All right, now you, John, what was it?
Peters!
John Peters? John Peters, what are you gonna do?" And you see,
I posted a picture for reference in the Discord.
God, I don't want that. That's just what Corley's looking like to me right now. So it's John Peters, what are you gonna do? And the first kid's like, "Kill it, kill it."
Yes, I shall proc rage! And then I cast dancing lights onto the sword, so it looks like my sword's glowing.
They're like, "Ooh."
And then I charge at the tree and stab it. I will stab it in its heart! Hopefully.
All right.
Do I roll for that?
No, they're LARPing. So I don't know if you roll in LARPing, but you see you stab the tree, and you hear like a loud groan as the DM kid goes like, "Ah, pew, pew, pew." "You killed the dragon!"
Yeah!
And you see like the other kids are like, "Yay!" And he's just like, after this point, you kind of are just like running around with the kids, and one of the after a little while, like you probably spend about 30 minutes like running around this like tomb. I'm just gonna meme it and say it's the Tomb of Annihilation, but with a dragon in it. He was running a module. He's only like 12. So you're able to successfully fell the dragon inside of the Dungeons and Dragons game. And they're playing around with the kids for a little bit. Then afterwards, you see some guy kind of just like approach you and the kids, and he's like,
Why you talk to my kids?
It's not what you think.
and he's just like, "Hey, what's going on?"
We were playing Monsters and Ghouls, good sir. You wanna join in? It's quite fun.
He's like, he chuckles for a little bit. He's like, no, it's cool. Thanks for playing with them, man. And you see he just to describe what this character looks like to you. He's a male.
He looks like John Peters.
No, it's not John. Yes, John Peters, the NPC. But no,
Is it Jackie Jan?
It might be Jackie Chan.
no, it is not Jackie Jan. No. So you see this guy. He's standing around like 5'10". He looks like he's about 19 years old. He's got olive skin, top hair, and golden streaks. I wrote russet eyes, but I'm just gonna bring it to brown. His hair is braided, and he has a very thin beard. He's wearing a green coat, brown combat boots, and a white / grayish shirt. So, and he's holding a quarterstaff. So he walks on over to you. He's like, "Hey, thanks for playing with the kids for a little bit." He's like, "My name's Abel," and he gives you like a handshake.
Excuse me, I just burped.
He says no worries, man. You know, you get gassy, I guess. And then cuts back to Ander as we say gassy. All right, there you go.
No one went there, man. You went there by yourself.
I did it before. I heard one chuckle from Tyler.
I
and
didn't
was
chuckle
like,
that
"All right,
time.
Fuck you, Tyler." So he kind of just like gives you a handshake and he says it's okay.
I say, I'm John Peters, the barbarian.
All right, you're John Peters the Barbarian. And he looks at you, he's like, well, my name's Abel.
Stay into character, man. That's important. Immersion. 10 out of 10.
Immersion. And he kind of looks at the other kids and he's like, hey, isn't it time for you guys to be getting to school? And they kind of look at him and he's just like, all the kids are just like, shit! And then they start to run.
Ander cutscene.
God damn it!
Who raised these kids?
Ander might have.
Ander raised these kids. He had a long drunken night. So you see the kids kind of just like run towards the center, towards like out of the park, and Abel kind of just like peers back at you, and he's just like, I really appreciate you hanging out with them. They don't get to play with other people too much.
Why not?
Well, I mean, not a lot of adults just, sit around and play with kids.
But there's other kids, aren't there?
Well, yeah, there's themselves, but like...
Are you saying the other kids won't play with them either?
No, there were 3 of them. I'm pretty sure they were playing with each other. So he says, well, what were you playing with them? You said Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, I don't know. They just said something.
They said something. He kind of chuckles. He's like, as kids do. And he's like, well, I have to apologize for them. Sorry they bothered you for a little while.
I wasn't bothered. I just was hanging out in a tree. Because I could.
You were hanging out in a tree? Because you could.
Yes, it's a nice view.
He kind of looks around. He's like, did you stack those?
No, but I have an idea of who might have.
Oh, that's fun. That's a fun idea, I bet. Well, I guess I'll see you around. Thanks for helping him out. I owe you one.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one, Abel.
Yeah, Abel.
Abel.
And he's like, okay, peace. And you see him, he kind of just like, he kind of walks away and he's like, good job killing that dragon.
Does he have a ship captain brother named Naval?
No, he does not. Unfortunately, I didn't write that in. But you kind of get around, and as soon as he's kind of left you alone. The kids are gone, and you kind of.
I just want to say, Vin, I hope you didn't make that encounter thinking Breathweaver would be offended by kids attacking a dragon.
No, I didn't think that they were gonna be offended by the kids being a dragon, but
when Breathweaver turns into a dragon, he's gonna show back up to those kids. He's like, "Who's attacking who now?"
Absolutely regretful. And then like you sit down for a little bit, and just like reminisce what you were playing with the kids and just like how you were killing the dragons. And he's like, "Oh man, I guess kids don't like dragons too much." And that's the end realization for your set.
I already knew that.
And now the viewers do. So going on, that's gonna be the end of Breathweaver's piece. There. And now we're gonna go over to Wilhelm's, and goddamn, let me get to his page. Hold up.
Harris thought he was gonna get out of this session without doing anything.
No.
You also gave him time to digest his McDonald's he ate right before recording.
Oh yeah, for sure. So here's Wilhelm's. So Wilhelm, you wake up with one of the mildest hangovers you've had to date. As you attempt to rub your eyes, you smack yourself in the face with a plastic bottle that has been taped to your hand. You try to rub your eye with the other hand, and you see there's been another plastic bottle taped to there. You were playing the D&D version of Edward Forty Hands, and you kind of just feel disgusting and incredibly greasy. What a night! So you look down to inspect yourself after you see that your hands have been taped together, and you come to a terrible realization. Half of your armor is gone. Your left gauntlet, your right boot, your chest piece, and your helmet are completely missing from your person.
Oh no.
And you hear now, as you're inspecting yourself, a hearty chuckle from the opposite side of the bar, where a few dwarves seem to be drinking and horsing around.
What the fuck happened?
Are you asking them that, or are you just talking to yourself?
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
All right, so you kind of just like audibly say, "What the fuck happened?" And you see like the dwarves kind of like look over as they heard something. They're like, "Hey, Wilhelm! Woo woo!" And they're all just like kind of just like partying around. And one of them like comes up to you. They like slap you on the back, like, "You party animal! You back for round 2?" And one of them hands you some mead.
Well, I'd like to get these bottles off of my hand, and I'd like to get my armor back.
So they kind of just go like, "No problem." One of them rips one of the bottles off your hand, and then puts a stack of meat in it, and he's just like, "Drink up, buddy." Finally woke up, you legend.
No. I do not know. I do not think that the best way to deal with a mild hangover is to just consume more alcohol.
They look at you. They're like, "What are you, some sort of dwarf or not?" And they just like, as they all
shit.
continue to keep drinking, it's like 9 a.m.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
You're being peer pressured by other dwarves. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Implying that Wilhelm was gonna do anyways. All right. I guess I will partake in more alcohol as he just drinks the mead.
They all look. They're like, Wilhelm.
Cut the next morning.
And, like,
Wilhelm wakes up.
He's missing more armor. That's so.
All right. Well. Important question. Where the hell is my armor? I have like half of
Oh
it.
man, you were all over the place last night. When you ask where your armor is, you see like one of the dwarves perk up and he's like, "Huh, I remember you having a full set at Grub's Pub. I saw you in your helmet and everything." And another one pipes up and he says, "And I saw your gauntlet at the Beast Shot." Another guy pops up and he says, "And I saw his boot at Dusk Till Dawn." And then the last dwarf says, "And I saw your chest plate in the lot of parking."
So, let me guess. I somehow ended up doing a bit of a bar club with you fine individuals. Is that correct?
You hear, you say bar crawl, and you see them just go like look at each other. They're just like, woo, 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 woo. I like they're just like bar crawl, and like they're all just like headbutting each other now. These are your people. So they're just like, yeah, man, we had the best bar crawl ever last night, and you were a legend. And you see like they start recounting your legendary antics, and they're just like, you drank 3 fat dwarves under the table, you won an arm wrestling competition with some orcs, I saw you do some magic and you made armor go sparkly. And then they're just like keep talking about it, and then you see one of them comes to the realization. She's like, wait a second, guys, he has to go back to the other bars to get his stuff. You know what that means? And one of the other one just like starts punching himself, and he's just like, bar crawl part 2, and like they're all like freaking out.
All right, look, I just want to get my shit back. I'm sure last night was a fun night, but I'm a little tired, and I have to like get back to my friends. We apparently split up, and then now I'm here, but essentially half naked.
They're just like, that's, you're a party animal, man. And they're just like, don't worry, we'll bring you back to the other bars and maybe get some drinks along the way. What do you say?
Now here's the thing. I'm not going to outright not drink. That is absurd. It's just I'm not going to get sloshed again. It is not even 10 in the morning.
They just start headbutting each other again. They're like, woo!
Why are you all headbutting yourselves? That seems like a bad idea.
They're like, it's a great idea. We've got helmets. And then they kind of just like, they kind of start walking out the door, and I assume you follow them. So
Yep.
The bars that they listed were Grub's Pub, the Beast Shot, Dusk Till Dawn, and the Lot of Parking.
The lot
you
of
see
parking.
as you start walking,
The lot of
lot of parking. Kind of like a play on the bag of holding. Let's bring you onto the first one. Let's bring you to Grub's Pub. So as soon as you start walking down the streets, you see this pretty big looking bar. It's got a big like it looks like a maggot on the front of it, and it's labeled Grub's Pub. So as soon as you walk inside, the inside is very homely. It's a wide bar adorned with a bunch of tables. There is a back wall with a very large bar there. To the left, there is a bathroom stall, and to the right, there is stairs leading to the inn that is located above. And a large orog mans the bar, tending to a few glasses. Tables are randomly placed all around the bar, and towards the left is a jukebox and a small stage. And on the right side is a wall with a bunch of pictures hung with random patrons. All of them are incredibly sweaty. And you see, as soon as you walk into the bar, the orog addresses you that's behind the bar. And for the viewers who don't know what the orog are, it's kind of like a blue orc. They're like a mix of an orc and a troll, I think, or something like that. And he addresses you, "Hey, Wilhelm! You quick-footed dwarf, you? What's going on?"
Well, I'm tired and I'm looking for my armor. Apparently, this was one of the places I stopped during the bar crawl I was a part of, and well, some of my armor is here, so I'm here to get it back.
He says, "Oh yeah, that's right." And he sees he pulls up a helmet from the back of the bar, and he's like, "Yeah, I got your helmet. How about you show me some of those monster moves from last night, man?"
What?
Roll history.
Oh no.
Roll history at disadvantage. Roll
Oh,
history at
God.
disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
Well, I rolled a 6.
Okay, so you're not able to recall. You're getting a little hazy, but you get this you get this weird feeling that if you drink something here, it'll help you recollect what happened last night.
Oh man.
Oh no. Today is going to be a long day. Mr. Orog,
Yeah.
my memory is a bit foggy. I don't remember what the hell happened last night. Could you tell me what sick moves you are referring to?
He's like, let's unwind that memory then. And he passes you a mead.
Alright, down the hatch, I guess, and then just drink it.
Yeah, as soon as you drink it, history at advantage.
A 9.
Oh man.
Another mead.
You know the mead. No, but yeah, you pretty much, we're gonna just keep going. Essentially, you get like maybe 2 or 3 drinks, and you're eventually able to pass that check based off the 9. So I'm just gonna add by 3 each time. So as soon as you're able to do that, you're able to recall that last night you were up on that stage with the jukebox doing like a huge dance and like telling everybody to move. You were doing the wobble with like everybody in the bar, and you were pretty much leading it. But right now he wanted to see you do some sick moves. So if you want to give a good dance, go roll performance at advantage. And you could probably recall those monster moves from last night.
Oh god, Hephaestus help me. As Wilhelm walks up to the stage, he's just gonna cast guidance on himself.
All right.
Alright, you said performance with advantage, correct?
Performance with advantage, yeah. You've got the liquid courage in you now. And you see the dwarves are just like, Wilhelm, Wilhelm, Wilhelm.
So a nat 20.
Shit. So as soon as you get up on the stage, you see it's like the entire room goes dark and a spotlight appears upon you, and you just start busting out these crazy dance moves. You start doing the wobble and then go into like you start flossing up on the fucking stage. You're doing the robot.
It's the thrill of one more kill, the last dwarf to fall.
And you just start singing along. All the other dwarves are headbanging. They're like headbutting each other again for some odd reason. And then you finish off, and then like the bucket of water is poured over you. And as soon as you do so, the Orog throws you your helmet, and you adorn it again. And there you are. You have your.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated.
He's like, thank you. Drinks are on the house.
Awesome. Thank you.
So as soon as you get your helmet, you and your boys head out, and they're just like, next bar.
I just want to get my shit back.
You're so unenthused about this.
By Hephaestus' will, I've had a long and apparently fun night. I just want to clean up the apparent mess I made.
You know the best part is that Big Hef would totally love this.
I know.
He would definitely be down for this. So as soon as you go to the next bar is called the Beast's Shot. And the bar has an old-fashioned batwing doors at the entrance. And it smells like a barn from at least 20 feet away. So as soon as you get close enough, you and your boys roll up, you enter, and it takes you a moment to adjust to the lighting as you're able to now see the cozy-looking bar. It's a little dark in here. There's boots all over the walls, with a bar to the left being manned by a tabaxi. And once you enter, you see a large minotaur approaching you. And as soon as you do, he says, "Wilhelm!" and yells real loudly, "You've come back for more embarrassment, huh?"
I mean, here's the thing. I've come back for a piece of my armor.
So, yeah, his cohort laughs, and your dwarves kind of just like rank up behind you. As you say that you're looking for a piece of your armor, you're able to see on his horn is sitting your gauntlet. And
Oh no.
he said, and then the other dwarves behind you are just like, "You scared of a rematch, Liquor?" And you see,
Wait, I'm sorry, you cut out. What did you just say?
his name is Liquor. The Minotaur's name is
Oh
Liquor.
my god.
Are you sure about that?
Well, hold on.
Liquor.
Like liquor as in like the alcohol, or
Like that, but it's spelled
my
like
God.
this.
Isn't it like a liqueur, like a...
Jesus.
I don't even know.
Yeah, you see,
For the folks at home, Likkor.
Are you sure it's not?
Yeah.
Lick whore.
Because that's what I heard.
Yeah, no, I'm with Plum.
No,
Liquor.
it's not liquor.
Okay, regardless, alcohol named Minotaur aside, whatever. Well, Mr. Liquor, question, why is my gauntlet on your horn?
Cause you lost it last night.
Lost
Tried
it
to
to it
beat
and
me.
what? I don't remember what the hell happened.
Roll history
Real historian.
with advantage because you're now drunk.
Roll his store.
With advantage, you said?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's a 17.
All right. You recall that you were playing him in a game of darts.
Oh no.
So you see, he's just like, well, let's try and see if you can beat me again. Maybe I'll give you a gauntlet back.
It sounds like he's about to say he's on a baby hunt.
Baby hunt.
And don't think we don't know how to weed about.
So he kind of your dwarven boys is just like, yeah, he'll beat your ass, Liquor, and they start like
Friends,
goading
please,
him on.
Please, I just want to play darts, beat this man, and then move on.
All right, so you get to roll to throw the dart. So you can make a dexterity check at advantage because you're drunk.
Is that how that works?
Apparently.
It is now.
So an 8.
All right, so it's best of 3. Oh, he rolled a 10. Okay, so he rolled a 10, so he beats you. He's like, ha, take that, Wilhelm. And his other guys and in the back, the other Minotaurs are like chuckling a little bit. So it's now gonna go for the second throw. You have advantage.
He gets a 7.
I'd be upset.
18.
Oh.
All right. I got a 13. Okay, so he's just like, damn it. And you see like your other guys are just like your dwarven friends are just backing you up. They're slapping you on the back. They're headbutting again for no apparent reason, and they're kind of just like making mean faces at Liquor. So it is now time for the third and final throw. So go for it.
I still hear it.
Stop it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw a like. All right. Well, I'm going to throw this dart in the name of a big hef as I just throw it.
And you see how the other dwarves are just like, big huff, big huff, big huff.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Wimpy. 17.
Oh, I got a 7. All right, so you're able to successfully beat him. You bet him 2 out of 3, and you see all your other dwarves are like, yeah, big huff, and they're just like all yelling, and the Minotaur is just like, huh, well, I guess you beat me this time, man. Come back here later. I'll show you nothing or two. He takes his gauntlet off, your gauntlet off of his head, and gives it back to you.
I extend a hand out to Liquor.
Liquor looks like he kind of like takes like a look back at his friends, and they're all just like looking at him, and he shakes your hand like oddly enough, and kind of like smiles a bit, and he's just like, get out of here.
All right. I was gonna say good game, but if you're going to be an asshole about it, I'll just leave.
He's being peer pressured by his Minotaur friends, unfortunately.
All right. It was a fun game of darts. I'm going to leave.
I'll play you next time.
Okay. I'm not opposed.
So you bounce out of there, and it smells less like a barn, and you head over towards the dusk to dawn. And as you approach, you see a small kobold sweeping the entrance to the dusk to dawn.
Is his name Quentin Tarantino?
No. What? No. And he's getting the wood shavings out the front door from the bar last night. It kind of looks sloppy. And he sees you, Wilhelm, and as soon as he sees you, he squeals really loudly and runs inside. Yep. Just like that. And he runs inside. After a few seconds, he comes out with your boot and he chucks it at you. And he runs back inside, and you can hear an audible lock close.
What?
Oh no.
Well, friends, what the fresh hell happened in that place
Fresh
last
hell.
night?
So they all look at you and they just start laughing. They're just like, ah, Wilhelm, and then they just like keep walking down the street.
No, I want to know what happened.
Roll history.
Oh no. Alright, that's that. 10.
You can't recall.
Oh wait, hold on. I might be still under the effect of guidance. Hold on.
Why are you rolling so poorly with advantage?
Hey man, I'm also literally drunk.
Yeah, that's what's giving you advantage.
But literally drunk.
Just do it. What did you want to do though? You said you were about to do something.
No, I was checking to see if I was still under the effect of guidance, but I'm not.
Just do it. What are you gonna do?
I'm sorry. So as soon as you keep walking down the street, you see like the other dwarves are laughing and they're all still like punching each other and headbutting. And you're walking down the street. You kind of just like go in front of them now, and you see as you pull ahead of the party, they kind of just like tug you back a little bit, and they're just like, "Dude, you missed like the front door." And you look down an alleyway. And you see the alleyway actually is a descending alleyway. There's like stairs there. And as you're walking down the alley, you see like you're at the bottom of the stairs. There's a hatched door labeled the lot of parking. And they're just like, "Let's go, buddy." So they open up the hatch and they enter. And as soon as you enter, it becomes incredibly harder for you to breathe as a thick layer of smoke assaults your lungs. The bar is dimly lit with a purple, pink, and blue lights. There's a bunch of pits with cushions and couches inside of them, with tables in the middle with glass pipes and smoking apparatuses. And you've pretty much like walked into what you consider like, I guess, a D&D version of an opium den.
Oh no!
But like it's like kind of like a hookah bar.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if whether or not this was like a hookah bar.
It's pretty much like a hookah bar. So as soon as you enter, you kind of just like hear from the side like someone just goes like, "Oh, Wilhelms." And you look over and you see a very attractive looking Yanti woman wearing an all green flowy dress, and she's holding a very long pipe, and she's like, "Welcome back to the lot." And she laughs a little lightly and takes a drag out of her long pipe. She's like, "So why are you back here so soon?"
Well, apparently, I lost a lot of my armor by like drunken gallivanting around the town, and I'm trying to like more or less sweep up the mess.
Yeah, I think you left your chess piece here last night. I think you left it with some of the girls in the back.
Oh no.
And she takes another long drag out of the pipe.
Then, we already have the explicit tag. I don't want to know what comes after that.
No, don't worry. It's fine. So it's not a prostitution bar, I swear. So as soon as you hear that, the dwarves start hooting and hollering. They're just like, "Woo!" They start whistling and shit. I can't do a good whistle. And as soon as like you hear that, you kind of just like head towards the back of the bar as she directs you towards these red curtains. And as soon as you go through the curtains, like there's still another thick layer of smoke, and you kind of like brush it out of your face. You hear just like three like excited screams. They're like, "Wilhelm!" Excitedly as three goblinas roll up and give you a big hug.
Now, Vin, question: Are these like the more stereotypical like ugly as shit goblins?
No, they're
or,
not
like...
that ugly. They're not that
Okay.
ugly. Just imagine just like a green dwarf, but like goblin-esque.
Yeah,
They're
that
not
was
ugly.
literally my follow-up. It was like either like stereotypical high fantasy ugly as shit goblins, or basically like green yordles.
They're like green yordles. They're not that ugly. So like they kind of just like roll up and they give you a big hug, and they're just like, "What are you doing back here?"
Well, I've come for my chest piece.
"Oh, his chest piece." They kind of just like look around, and they're just like looking all around the giant pit that they're in the back there, and they kind of rifle through it, and like a couple of them just like kind of like escort you down to a couch, and they're just like, "Do you want anything to drink or smoke?"
I will pass.
"We've got some good climb here. Brings you right to the moon, all the way up."
Again, ladies, I will have to politely decline.
Okay. So you see like the third goblina kind of goes and retrieves your chest piece, and they're just like, "Well, is that all?"
Yes.
They're like, "Come back again. We'll be waiting." And they see like one of the other goblinas is like, as you're leaving, they're kind of like, "I wanted to show me his little heft next time," and they start like chuckling in the back. And then you leave the bar, and you're,
I'd like to point out that like as Wilhelm, because does Wilhelm hear the little heft comment or no?
Do you want him to?
Roll
Yes.
history.
All right, he hears. Roll history. Yeah.
He hears it and he looks fucking as he's walking back to his dwarven dude bro friends. He looks fucking mortified. like 1,000-yard stare.
Does one of the dude bro friends do like the SpongeBob smile when he realizes Squidward likes Krabby Patties?
Yeah, he's like, you like goblins, don't you, Wilhelm? No, but like,
God.
no, you see, like, you come back to those other guys, they're smoking on like one of the hookahs there. They're kind of just like getting red eyes, and then just like Wilhelm, and they kind of just like are slumped over in the bar, and you see one of them kind of just like pulls a rune out of his pocket, and he looks, he's like, oh man, look at the time, yo guys, we gotta roll. And like the other guys like kind of look at they pull out the same rune
They have
inside
to
of
go
their
to school?
pockets, and they're like, no, they don't have to. Oh my god, no, they don't have to go to school. But you see, like they kind of bounce, and they're like, yo, Wilhelm, if you're ever around, buddy, hit us up.
Sure.
So you see, like they're just like, we gotta get back to the subway, and they start banging heads again because they're going to work.
Isn't there still like one more bar that Wilhelm has to go to? Or
No, that was all.
that was it.
Oh, okay.
You got
Okay.
everything.
Subway, the like a train-based Subway or a sandwich shop?
No, not the sandwich shop, to an actual Subway. From what you can recall, from last night, I won't have you roll history since you already passed it a couple times. These dwarves are construction workers, working on creating a subway system, for the kingdom of Ruel, or really just the city of Ruel. And these are the guys that you're entrusting your safety to.
Oh,
but
no.
they head on back to their job, and you kind of just like with a sigh of absolute relief and exhaustion, I guess, head back to Larry's pub, to the Chillin' Dragon.
Yup.
So all of you, after your decidedly fun antics for the day, roll back up to the Chillin' Dragon, and Larry's inside. He's like, "What's up, guys? How you doing?"
I'm doing well, thank you.
I had a very long night, and by extension, a very long day. Hello, lady. How are you doing?
Is Ander back with us?
Wait, yeah, did Ender finish his business?
No, yeah, I never did.
There's a reason for this.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, everyone but Anders here.
Okay.
So everybody but Ender rolls back, but as you all kind of just enter, I assume most of you had like a beat day,
Not really.
and it's probably just gonna be the end. Oh,
I had a great day.
never mind. Awesome. What'd you do?
I played with some kids.
All right, that's the end of that. Let's cut to Ander. And then it goes over to Ander. Ander, you finally flush after what is assumedly 6 hours.
Really?
No, you've been there for about like 2 hours.
Would that count as a long shit?
No, he has another 2 hours before then.
So you kind of exit the bathroom. You stop by those 3 sections that you had seen earlier, that you had run by, which I'm gonna go back and get them for you.
The names, I know one of them was Construction of Ruel, and
Construction in Ruel, yep. Traditions and folklore and magical studies. Did you want to take a look at one of those before we ended the session?
let's take a look at Construction.
Okay, so you go over to the construction category, and you see like there's a bunch of different sections. Everything's alphabetized. There's only one book necessarily that reaches out to you, so it's labeled Recent Constructions in Ruel, and it currently documents the 15-year project of creating the subways that the town of Ruel has decided to invest in order to safely transport its citizens across the town so they can get to work faster, get home quicker, and pretty much just make transportation a lot easier. And as you're perusing that book, you see it's been taken up by the guild contracted by the Dwarven Guild. And essentially what their job is just the construction of it. You see that there's been a bunch of large tunnels, and it denotes a couple of items that are used in the dig. And as you are going through the items there, let me just pull it up and edit this pause out because I forgot the name of it. And it's not in my book.
Keep this pause in.
Corley, if you hear
All
this,
right.
don't edit this out. Don't edit this out. Keep it in.
No, edit it out. Edit it out.
Keep it in. Edit this out. Don't listen to the Vin. Don't listen to the short man.
Yeah, don't worry.
Now you're making good content, so he has to keep it in. So the item that you're able to see is there's a thing called Mavin's counter, which is currently keeping the entirety of the subway system construction safe. Something called Mavin's Geiger counter.
A Geiger counter?
Was there someone named Geiger who discovered the counter?
Marvin's counter.
He worked with John Peter.
The farmer?
He worked with John Peter at Mavin.
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
So you see an item called Mavin's.
I think I know what the reference is.
What?
One moment. I think it's Welcome to Night Vale.
No, it's not a Welcome to Night Vale reference. Oh wait, no, yours?
Yeah. John.
Cool, it was 30 minutes ago.
John Peters, you know, the farmer?
Oh my god!
Oh
All right.
my God.
Continuing on.
Yeah.
God damn it! You take a look and you're able to look in that book. You're able to see that it's something named Mavin's Geiger counter. That is what's keeping the construction essentially in a safe state. And you're kind of taking a look into it. It seems like a pretty interesting book, and you think you want to check it out to get more info back at Larry's. So you roll up to the gentleman at the front desk, check out your book, and then head back to Larry's. You arrive about 5 to 10 minutes after the guys.
I was asking if I could also take a look at the trust and folklore section.
Rewind.
Sure. Rewind. You're probably wondering how I got here. So inside of the traditions and folklore section, you kind of are looking around for a bunch of books that are in that section there. Let's see what would be there. Inside of there is a book labeled festivals across the continent, and then there's another one labeled festivals in Ruel. So it goes specific. So either across the continent or in Ruel.
I'll get the one specifically for Ruel.
Okay. So traditions, so folklore and traditions and of events inside of Ruel. So you pick up that book. I won't let you read it right now. Just we can go back to a little bit later, but it did seem like an interesting read, especially for getting more information about the city.
Right.
So you grab those 2 books, check out, and then we're gonna fast forward then back to the bar. Unless you want to go into the magic one.
I'd like to go into the magic one and just pick something out from there as well.
Rewind again. So inside the magical studies portion, you see just like there's a couple of books. I guess one of them would be labeled necromancy. There's another book that is labeled magic, the rules behind magic and why magic exists. There's another one called The Weave. And then there's a final one called Bake It Yourself Magic Studies book featuring all-time recipe champion.
I'm taking the Bake It Yourself.
The Bake It Yourself one, it's the name of the author is scratched out as well as the famous chef. And you take that book and you've checked out 3 books. You see the guy at the front, he checks out the first 2 books and he sees the cookbook.
Where's your material components, you donkey?
Does Wilhelm needs a library card.
No library.
What the hell? Suspension of disbelief broken.
So you check it out. He lets you go and he gives you a slip for return later. And then you head back. You arrive 10 minutes after. 15 minutes now. Because you checked out 2 extra books behind the guys.
All right.
And that's I guess that's where we're gonna end it for now. You guys just are in Larry's bar.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Good Job Adventures. If you like what you just heard, be sure to let us know by rating the podcast on your preferred listening platform. It really does help us out a lot. For questions about the cast, business inquiries, or if you know why I can't get a girlfriend, contact us at goodjobadventures@gmail.com. For everything else, follow us on Twitter at GJAdventures. We promise we'll maybe follow back. Be sure to tell your friends about us, or your enemies. We're not picky. Thanks again. See you next time.